I can hear and...
Okay, you set, you're good. Right. So I'm AaronPt1. I was reading Brad's book the other day, and or both of them actually, and he said that people buy from people. So, and the idea is to let people know your hobbies, what you do, so people get to know you. So I thought I'd say I've got quite a strange life outside of work, especially for a web developer. So I thought I'd tell about what I do, so people get to know me and ultimately trust me. So this is definitely not a sales pitch. I'm now 32. When I was 25, I was off the rails a little bit. I used to go out, so I still had the web design company, but used to go out drinking 3-4 nights a week. I was fat. I thought that sausages and beans was a good diet. Wasn't really going anywhere. So I suddenly decided to, with the help of one of my friends, I thought, let's sort everything out. Let's try and make myself a bit fitter. So I started going to the gym with the sole intention of getting fit. And I started doing judo just to lose a little bit of weight. That's as far as it went. The gym's actually progressed quite a lot since then. I went out, I used to be at Leisure Centre gym. I've now progressed. I didn't like it at the beginning. I thought all weights were, I hated doing the weights, I hated doing the cardio, I used to dread going. And I got to a stage where I actually started to enjoy the gym, look forward to sort of pushing myself. And it got to the point where I was too big for that gym and I was lifting, I could use all the weights and I could max out all the machines. So I went to this powerlifting gym that I'm at now, and I went in there and there's guys that are absolutely massive, they're 23 stone, lifting stupid weights, and I was in there like, really sort of small and intimidating. But since I've gone there, I haven't really looked back in regards to the training. I love going to the gym now, and I'm actually entering Salisbury Strongest Man a week on Sunday, and I'm hoping to win it. That's the plan anyway. Judo, I started judo. I had no intention of getting any belts. I just did it for a bit of fun, to lose a bit of weight. The instructor there was a bit of a bully, and on the first day he's like, "Oh, you're quite a big lad," and he made a point of like pinning me to the floor and not letting me move. So I set it in my mind, well, I'm not leaving the judo hall now. I'm not going to leave it until eventually one day I get to throw him or pin him on the floor. That was he was like a 24 stone policeman. He's quite good at what he does. So I worked up with him and I eventually got my black belt, and I did manage to throw him one day. Felt really good. He didn't appreciate it that much. Judo is a bit like wrestling, but you've got a gi, a judo suit, looks like pajamas on, and you can use that for throwing people. You can grab them and you can throw them over your shoulder. You can pin people to the floor. You can strangle them with it. And when you fight with judo is derived from a sport called jiu-jitsu. And the whole idea of judo is that you can fight absolutely flat out with somebody, although you can hurt them, because it's in a controlled environment, it's quite safe because you've got spongy mats. It's a bit like, instead of street fighting, you might put boxing gloves on, and you can box and you can hit the head out of somebody for 5 minutes without seriously damaging them. But that being said, when I went for my black belt, you actually have to fight to get your belt. The only way to get your black belt is to fight and beat other people going for their black belt. Well, it used to be, it's not anymore, but when I got mine, that's the way it was. And when I went for my black belt, one of the fights I had, one of the ones I lost actually, this guy was obviously better than me. He picked me up like that, threw me straight over his head. And I did what's called a break fall, where you use your hands with your legs and you smack the floor just before you land to stop yourself from getting winded on the floor. I did that and I dislocated both of my toes, they both bent round. And that was in 2009, and since then I can't walk without, if I'm training and I haven't got my toes taped together, my toes just pop out of joint, so they're pretty shot I think now. I gave up judo, it's getting a bit soft, the instructor, you get to, in Salisbury there was no one above the black belt levels who sort of needed to teach me, and I'd have to travel to do it. So I had a friend that I knew, he was a kickboxer and did a bit of jiu-jitsu. So one day we were in his garden, he had a shed, and we padded it out with mats. And we saw UFC on TV, cage fighting, and we thought, that looks good, let's give it a go. We had no idea. So I remember the first day we were doing it, I'm lying on my back, and he's on top of me, and he had some sort of boxing gloves on, and I just said, I've no idea if this is going to work, just hit me, and I'm going to see if I can get out of it. So he's like throwing punches at my face, and I'm like trying to cover up, trying to get out of it. And in the end, I realised the judo did quite well, and I could get out of it. So we went from big gloves to tiny gloves, tried that, and we just kept banging around the shed. The neighbours kept looking at us. They see in the middle of winter, some little tin shed, two grown men go into a shed, shut the door, put some music on, lots of banging, and then two guys come out covered in sweat and another day we're practicing choking each other to see how cool look at. So I'm sat there like this in the garden on a chair, and he's behind me and he puts his arm around my neck and he's squeezing. I'm like, I'm not breathing, he lets go. What'd you let go for? I didn't tap. You normally tap out in martial arts to say, I give up, I'm not breathing, or you're about to break my arm or something. So I didn't tap, so he did it to me, I did it to him, we did it for half an hour, and the headache was phenomenal. But we learned how to choke each other pretty well, so that was good. We decided that fighting each other in a shed wasn't the ideal situation. So we set up a club called Strike and Submit, a martial arts club. We decided we'd get a couple of other black belts. We've got karate black belt there and taekwondo black belt. We thought it's going to give us more people to fight. It's ways of sort of bettering ourselves. We set up a club. It started in the leisure centre, then we got into a martial arts dojo, got insured and everything else, CRB checked, and now we've got a club with 60 members. It's growing. We're very strict in what we do in the club. If anyone in the club goes into town and has a fight, starts on the doorman, or in the club if they lose their temper or have actually got an attitude problem, they're not welcome back. If somebody we've got a new member and somebody tries to prove a point and hurt them, we will deliberately hurt them, tell them they're not welcome back. We make a point of our club's very, we have a lot of respect. We always bow when we get on and off the mats and try and keep the martial arts spirit alive. MMA, the martial art we do, is also known as cage fighting, which sounds more rough than it is, I should think. It's basically you can punch people, kick people, elbow, knee, strangle, you can do elbow, shoulder locks, knee locks, you can pick people up in the air, throw them on the floor, sit on top of them, punch them in the face. It's brilliant martial art, probably the closest thing you can get to street fighting, but it's still in a controlled environment. I never had any, when we started the club, I actually had no intention of actually ever getting in a cage. But as we got better and we started fighting more people, someone said, let's do a cage fight. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's a great idea. So one day there was a big martial arts show in London, my first one. It was called the Seni martial arts show, and there's all different martial arts, so like taekwondo have their bit, and we were the focus of it. We had a 28-foot cage in the middle of the arena, and there were hundreds of people watching. And I remember watching it before I had my fight, and watching these little guys get in there, and they're punching each other, because all the heavyweights always go last. So I was watching these guys fight each other. I don't know to my mates, like, they're mental, forgetting that I had to go in there in an hour. You get in the cage, and you'll go in there, your heart's pounding, your mouth's dry. You go in there, and they go donk, donk, and they shut the cage. You've got a massive octagon with a big fence around the outside, and you've got some guy in there, and all you know about that guy is he's between 90 and 120 kilos, he's a martial artist, and he wants to hurt me. But he's probably looking at the same, he's looking at me thinking I'm 100 something kilos, and I want to hurt him, so I figured we were even. On that fight, I actually won it. It took me 37 seconds and I choked him. He had to tap out and he got unconscious. So I felt really good about that. The buzz, the adrenaline was amazing. And since then, I've had a couple of fights and I really enjoy it. With all these martial arts, my last hobby, and I do consider it as a hobby, is I'm a doorman, I'm a bouncer. I do it working for yourself, being self-employed, as you guys know. You stay at home, you stay at work, and then you go home, and then you go back to work again, and that's about the extent of your social life. I'm a doorman, I love it. I get to see loads of people, meet loads of friends. And I'm the head doorman of the largest pub in Salisbury. We've got a capacity of 500, and sometimes you have to manage that with 2 doormen, which can be interesting. I also work in a kebab shop in Salisbury between 1:30 and 3:30, which is one of the most violent places in the town, because everyone congregates at the kebab shop at the end of the night, and you can't ruin their evening anymore because they're already drunk and they've already had their evening. So they decide to throw kebabs at people and stuff. It's brilliant. When I started on the door, it was there used to be loads of fights. We used to get 7-8 fights a night, but Salisbury's a lot better now. You get less fights.
Is that because all the soldiers are abroad?
No, the soldiers actually get bad rep. I think that people say the military guys start fights all the time. I think if you had 500 solicitors out in town in one go, there'd be fights. And I think the fact that it's a military, some of them can't handle their alcohol. But generally, we find they're quite good. The good thing about them is one of them does something wrong, you can just say, look guys, just speak to them how you want, say what you want, and they'll, for the most, go. The worst people we find are policemen from other towns, surprisingly, that they sort of try and throw their weight around, and people that have got, I wouldn't say professionals such as solicitors and people like that, but if you might get people that work in an office, and they assume it because you're a doorman, you're stupid. And you get lots of comments, especially around Christmas time at the parties. How much do you earn? You can't tell me what to do. Why don't you get a real job? And things like that. And surprisingly, they're the people that are most likely to start the fights, rather than the gypsies or the students or the military guys. It's quite a shame, really. You quite often get like 50-year-old ladies out there, and you might get one of their kid, could be like 10 or 12, comes to town, and they're in to see their mum, and the mum's like, no, you get back home, and then they go in the pub and get drunk. I think it's quite bad. But the town's a lot safer these days. We've got radio, all the pubs are linked together, and you don't normally get fights, but the thing is, when you do, people don't fight fair anymore. We had an issue on Christmas Eve. There were 10 guys in the pub. They were spitting at each other, they were throwing pints on the floor, just being loud, genuinely being idiots. So the 3 of us working at the time, we asked them to stop it, and they said yeah. 2 minutes later they're doing it again. We asked them to stop it again, and it goes on. So we asked them to leave. 5 of them started to walk outside. The other sort of resisted a bit and then sitting down. And one of the guys said, no, I'm not leaving, you've got to make me. So on that one, myself and a friend, we just went behind the guy, put his arms behind his back, and nice and gently walked him out of the pub. As soon as he got outside the door, we turned around to get the other ones out. I looked round for some reason, and he's there with a massive garden chair, with the ones I had, he's swinging it in my head, trying to knock me out with it, which didn't go down very well. On that one, I incapacitated him, let's say it that way, and then we had a bit of altercation with the other food, but we got them out of the pub, and everything was good. Some plenty of different things.
Maybe you should have a badge that says I am a black belt in judo and da 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 da.